Hello everyone. I hope all fans of my music everywhere will let me talk about something unrelated to my music, which is very close to my heart. Although I've been in India for the past few weeks, my heart has been back home in Sri Lanka, where my people are going through the worst economic crisis in our independent history as a nation. As an artist and as a person, I have remained non-political throughout my career. My team and I have been careful not to accept favors and affiliation and will stand by that principle going forward. As an ambassador to my country with an international platform, I've decided to break my silence and lend my voice to my people, and I've been working on a project with a few fellow Sri Lankan artists who share my sentiment to contribute in a tangible way to the country. I am for Sri Lanka.
Welcome to Date with Danu, right here on Hi TV, your luxury channel. Today, I'm super excited to speak about a topic that has been in conversation on social media platforms for a very long time. If you do remember, sometime last year, we celebrated a singer from Sri Lanka taking our song international, which was titled Manike Mage Hithe. And soon after, did we misunderstand Yohani, or the concept of Yohani was misunderstood for us? Let's speak more. I'm utterly confused about how we should take this topic, but to speak more, we have members of her team and also her manager on the other side.
Hi, I'm Dilshan.
Hi, I'm Dilanjan.
I work in technology marketing. I've got about 10 years of experience in the space.
I am a creative entrepreneur specializing in music marketing and branding. Again, 10 years of experience in the field, and we are here to go on a date with Danu.
I think I've known Danu from his Planet Pulse days, back when he had really crazy hair, was a lot thinner. But he's done well for himself. Excited to get on his show.
I think I first met Danu at a drama production, which was at Barefoot. I don't think he remembers. But then, of course, through the Date with Danu program, because a couple of my talents came on the show, a couple of talents that I managed came on the show. I actually don't have anything bad to say about him. I should do more research on that.
Welcome back to the show. So I have Dilanjan here and Dilshan on the other side. Hi guys, thank you for being here.
Hi Danu, thanks
for having us.
So Dilanjan represents Peta Effects. It has been a brainchild that has contributed in so many youngsters who are enthusiastic to come forward and sing. There were a lot of videos that were going out at one time. And Dilshan, you work in a company.
I do.
You have a source of income, which is quite vital. You earn in dollars, don't you?
No, I don't.
Tell me the truth.
I don't.
We need people like you, that's why.
Yeah. I'm trying.
So how do you know Dilanjan?
Oh, we go way back. We schooled together actually.
Oh, okay.
But actually didn't know each other from school for some reason.
Were you all both just ignoring each other?
I think
Thought
so,
as
yeah.
much.
Yeah.
I only came to Royal for my A-level, so that's probably why.
Right, okay.
Potentially, yeah.
Okay, cool. But now you all have found like a union of friendship between you all.
For sure.
All right, so today we thought it's better to speak about all the issues that have been spoken about on social media. End of the day, I never knew that an artist could be so entangled to even an Aragalaya. So that's where it eventually came to. So let's speak a little bit about, come to know about the brand Peta Effects. For those who don't know it, it's a platform where a lot of artists who are in love with songs, found a rendition of their own and gave it a little twist and recorded this. Is that the initial start of Peta FX?
Yes, so we went to market with that concept.
Okay.
But overall idea is to for that to be a record label plus management platform. So because we don't have that in Sri Lanka.
Was this the initial start when you started it? Did you have that thinking, or was it just?
Yeah, so we wanted it to become a record label.
Okay.
And as we went along, we also learned from our mistakes, and then we reached out to other labels and understood how they work, and
Right.
we improved our processes and we optimized the platform, if you will.
And how did this name Yohani come into this mix? Was she just a random singer who walked in, or you knew her?
So Johan and I go way back again. Like we've been working together for about 8 years. She was part of Thivra, which is the creative company that I'm part of. So 3 of us were basically photographers running around. And then because she was singing and doing covers, we had cameras. We did a video back then, about 2015, 14, I think, and we put it online. We started Peta later on, and Yohani was abroad at the time, and Yohani was not part of the starting founding team. But I could say the platform was inspired by her because she was doing some good stuff online.
So at that time there was nothing planned. It was just because we always knew Yohani to be this girl who had like starry lights at her room, and she sang songs, and she attempted songs that were in different languages. That's how I like initially saw Yohani. Curious question: are y'all going out?
Oh my god!
I'm also a bit deaf because I have phlegm and I can't hear a lot of things. So speak a bit louder.
If I had dollar every time this
Somebody
question
asked
was,
me.
yeah, I would be.
So y'all are going out?
No.
No, y'all are not.
No.
What in the world is happening?
I manage a lot of female artists, and
It
all
doesn't
of them
mean that you're
are-
going out with everyone.
Doesn't.
But
correct.
we just feel like Yohani and you had something more.
We've known each other for a long time.
I have also known a lot of people for a long time. Nobody has asked me any questions like that. So no,
No.
Yohani is currently single.
I guess so, and part of my job is not to
Interfere into that.
Interfere into her personal life. Yeah.
So are you going out with Yohani?
Am I? No.
Ah.
I wish.
You wish,
Oh.
okay. Have you tried?
No, not really. Seems a bit of a distant try, right?
No. Why? Because she's in India.
Thank you. No.
Because of how you feel that you're not up to her standards.
Yeah.
They say love is blind. I am giving you hope. So just tell me about your involvement.
So I'm not directly involved with Peta Effect, but definitely been a fan for a long time. We've had a lot of conversations, especially when he was making some of the more strategic decisions. Tried to always be a supporter, but the direct involvement right now is with the For Sri Lanka Foundation, which we'll get around to, where I'm kind of volunteering to support the cause.
Brilliant. Now, For Sri Lanka has come into a lot of conversation, which we will get into as we move on with the show. But we always have like some fun things that we have to do, and it's called the Hot Seat, a place where we ask some unwanted questions and they find answers to give us. Welcome back to the show. So we have some questions that I gotta ask. All right. Both of you could answer. Whoever answers well will walk away with this gift bag.
What's in it?
Things to make you look gorgeous. Dilshan, then you might have a chance.
Hardly need it.
All right, here we go. If you were to promote another Sri Lankan artist, who would you pick from the following? Kanchana, Anuradhi, Umara, Romain Wills.
Romain for me.
I think both Kanchana and Romain would go a long way, but I'd go with Romain.
Okay. What's the biggest misunderstanding about Yohani that Sri Lanka has?
Oh, there's a lot.
Just one.
There's a,
She's
fact-
trying to steal money.
yeah.
Okay. Was Mani Ke Mage Hite planned to be a viral hit, or was it a fluke?
Neither. Wasn't planned. Wasn't a fluke either. It's just I think it's a hard work that paid off at some point. I think.
I think there's intention behind every production you do, right? Which one goes viral is largely out of control, but there's intention behind everything.
Yeah.
BNS Iraj Lahiru Pasan. Describe working with them in one word.
In one word, challenging.
Okay, so BNS.
I learned a lot from BNS.
Iraj,
Learned a lot from him too.
Lahiru.
He's very knowledgeable. Like he knows his sound engineering a lot, and again, he shares a lot with young people. Like he gives everybody a chance.
You have just learnt everything from everyone.
I've only worked with Bhati and Santosh, and in a completely different context, they also have like an event management firm. Absolute professionals. I mean, they do some of the biggest gigs as well.
Pasan.
Oh, lovely. He just needs a manager like me to be ruthless in business sense. I think I still owe him money for some of the productions. he doesn't even remember this.
That's not going to translate well. Let me tell you.
Yeah, but then
What are your thoughts on Gota resigning as president?
you want to answer that?
What are my thoughts on Gota resigning as president? Is it? I think it's definitely time for administrative change. But I think the change also needs to come down a level. It's not just the top seat that's involved. Like we've had 74 years of bad governance, and he's not been there for, I don't know, 70 of it, right? So there needs to be change at every level, down to like grassroots levels all the way up to administration. So definitely time for change. Whether or not that change is going to come is completely a different topic.
Well, I think it's interesting that this is the first time we're seeing, because most of the time we've seen political leaders having their way, the way they wanted. And it's interesting to see the people could make a stand and then influence the decision of these politicians. I don't know the political nuances or the democratic nuances of this whole thing, but I think power to the people for that. Yes, like I said, we definitely need change because we've been working in this system for a long time. We've been as innovative, maybe not call ourselves innovative, but people who are trying to do something to compete with the international markets. It's very difficult to get around this system. So definitely we need this change, and I think it will take a long time for us to, because people has another responsible thing to do also from here onwards.
That was a very long answer. Actually, it's very hard for me to choose the winner. What shall I do? Shall I just give it to you or would you all share?
Sure.
Brilliant. That solves a lot of problems. That's
feel like he's
from
not
Lucky
gonna
Wellness. We're getting into a break. We'll see you on the other side with more. Do stick around to stay with us. Welcome back to the show, and we are speaking about few issues that are trending these days. All right, let's speak about I Am Sri Lanka. Correct? That's what it's called?
For Sri Lanka, but
For I Am for Sri Lanka Foundation. So this initially came out during the heat of the Aragalaya when Gota Go Home Gummer was in full swing at the Golf Face Green. There were lots of people who were in the public eye who were not attacked, more or less called out, saying, why aren't you with the Aragalaya? Why aren't you speaking in behalf of the people who have given you the followers, the views, and given you this place in the entertainment industry? So there were a lot of names that were dragged into it. I had my fair share as well. We had lots of it to go through, but everything for a good cause. And sometimes you can't please everyone because you're not going to be there 24/7 so that everyone can view you and go. You're not Golf Face Green, so you're going to be there for a few hours, and if people see you, they see you. If not, they don't. But here's the story. Yohani came into a lot of fire, and she made a statement about a foundation that was starting during this time. Now, it didn't go as planned. Up to now on Instagram, it doesn't have a comment section. It only has like or share. Correct?
no comment.
Yeah.
You have to follow it to comment.
No, you
can
just can't comment on that video.
Oh, the video. Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
So tell me about it. Tell me about for Sri Lanka.
Okay, so I think let me give you. This is going to be a long answer, by the way.
That's fine. Take your time, Mani. We have like a show.
So let's clarify one by one. I think that's important. When this was happening, we were already in India because we had moved to work from there. She signed a label, right? And if you go for the past 8 years of building her career, we've had opportunities to use influence from her dad's, starting from her dad, all the way to later on politicians when Maniki went viral. We've always been impartial. We've always not entertained any of these things, right? So when this thing first started, like this was starting and people wanted us to come out and make a stand, we've always been neutral. That was our principle. And then after a point, we realized, okay, now we have to do something, because as much as we are on social media, we are also in the grassroots level, right? So we were getting calls from people saying, there's no medicine in Sri Lanka, there's food crisis in Sri Lanka. So immediately I called all my artists, all the supporters, everyone who's doing this. We came into and we had this project in our pipeline, because we plan as managers, as strategists, we plan ahead. So we thought, let's bring it forward and send some help home, because we had at the time, we still have access to a different audience who would help Sri Lanka in a smaller way, right, the way we can. And Dilshan happened to be in India at the time. I called him, would you like to come on board? He said, yeah, sure, let's figure things out. And we did send help. In the first donation came in April itself for the protest.
So the question was, where did the donation go?
Red Cross.
Okay, so that's...
Again, so let me clarify that also. The backlash, or rather the confusion, was the GoFundMe account. And our objective was to raise funds outside of Sri Lanka. We didn't want people to donate within the country. That defeats the purpose. We wanted people who are outside to donate and send the dollars in. So the only way we could do this was using a platform, which was an open platform, an open source platform. And if you're not a citizen of those listed countries, you cannot start the fundraiser. So we reached out to Sandun, who was our distributor, music distributor, and he agreed. He also came on board as a volunteer, and then we set it up on his name, with his social, what do you call it? Social number or something, and then
Social security number.
Social security number, and there's so much of questions about transparency and all of that. That's when this whole thing started. I would like to say at the same time, it's great that people are questioning us, right? Because you shouldn't just go and donate just because a celebrity says so. And so I really appreciate people for doing that. But then I think we also clarified and we did it the right way later on. And we got into an affiliation with Red Cross, and we did the transfer transparently. And you have a letter from Red Cross stating the same. And we are working on this foundation in a long term.
And why did you choose Red Cross as a platform for you to work with?
Because Red Cross is globally the most neutral, non-biased organization in the world. And we didn't want to be seen with an organization, because we were already accused of that, right? We didn't want to affiliate ourselves with an existing organization. We could have biases. Red Cross globally known is an unbiased organization. So that's why Red Cross. It was difficult for us
also the credibility, right? I mean, if we were to go with I also think there needs to be some context added to what he said. Everyone kind of thought this was some well thought out political pivot, but it was just a phone call. I happened to be in India, completely different state, and I just called and we were having a chat about the entire situation, and it just so happens, he's obviously representing Yohani and himself, but it just so happens that we are largely apolitical, because we've never gained any favor in that way, right? I mean, but if the conversation is, have you been in the same place as one of these politicians? I mean, Colombo is really small. Somebody needs, like, you're going to be at some supermarket with these folks, right? Like, we keep bumping into everyone. So I think it's also of value for people to kind of validate, have they campaigned for any of these guys? Have I campaigned for any of these guys? A lot of the people haven't actively campaigned for any of these guys. And there are a whole bunch of other artists and a whole bunch of other public figures who have. And I feel like they get a lot less of the backlash. I mean, there's no history of somebody, of Yohani scamming the money of anything?
So I did go through the video and I did read some of the comments that were shared on social media, on Facebook, not on Instagram, about how detached she was to the topic and it was scripted and all these kind of conversations did come about. Because we are talking about people's emotions. As much as people can shower you with love, they can also shower you with immediate hate if there's disappointment from their point of view. Was it discussed as to how Yohani will be projected through this project? And was it
I want to kind of preface that, right? Before we even get to that question, I think Sri Lanka struggles with diversity. As rich as the diversity is in this country, we struggle with diversity, and we've struggled with diversity for the past 40 years, right? Diversity of opinion is as valid as racial diversity or religious diversity or anything else. And you can't expect everyone to be the same cookie cutter model of responding to certain things a certain way. And also the contribution people can make can also vary, right? I mean, we were all in India. There's no way to go and protest, and I don't know if the value. Maybe someone can make an argument that it's kind of like a symbolic thing, but I feel like at that time, the highest impact thing for us to have tried to do with the access we had outside of the country is to try and raise money.
But do you feel, I'm asking you this question, do you feel that taking a day off from India, keeping those contracts on hold for like 3 days, flying down to Sri Lanka, making her presence be felt at the heart of Aragale would have been a better move?
One of the things that we don't do is that we don't go back and think, oh, we could have done this way. But at the time, you have to understand how that industry works. A foreigner getting access to their industry, you don't have a legal framework to work there. So we were setting up that at the time. I mean, it got finalized recently. There is no way we could have come back down. There's absolutely no chance we could have come down. And also, to an extent, what you're saying is true, because Yohani may not have felt the power cuts because we were not in the country. But then again, our parents are here, our team is here, our recordings are happening here, our work is here. So we did feel it. And then the discussion was, okay, now we can't go there, we can't show our face, we can't get on with the trend or whatever. Can we help? That was the conversation.
But do you feel that the work permit for Yohani would have been stopped or slowed down if she has made a visit here for one day?
Absolutely, yeah.
Definitely, is it?
Yes. That country does not work the way we want to work, no matter how big you are.
Okay.
But then that's not an excuse, right? I just want to clarify that. It's not an excuse. It is what it is.
Okay. Let's get into a break. We'll see you on the other side. Do stick around. It's Take It Time. Welcome back to the show. In conversation with Dilanjan. I think a lot of people get your name wrong.
It's actually Dilanjan. The singer is
Dilanjan.
Dilanjan.
Ah, I thought I got it right. Dilanjan and Dilshan. We are talking about for Sri Lanka, this foundation that is up and running. You can check it out on social media. It's on Instagram and on Facebook as well. They have given you ways and means of how you can contribute, how you can be a part of it. Now, recently there was the uprising on the 9th of July as to how the president should leave the presidential palace and should resign as the president. At this very moment, while we are shooting this show, we are a day prior to his resignation, so we do not know how tomorrow is going to be. So we're just giving you the timeline so you know when we are recording the show. During these days, you saw these two along with a few other faces who were contributing towards Red Cross. And lots of, actually I have to say, is it the brown man meme? Is that what that page is called?
Something to that.
Memes for Browns?
Memes for Browns. They were the first people who attacked me as well, which was quite cool actually. It was quite sweet. They actually said, Abhi Danu ta kiyanna awa, Danu hitiye nahe, which is actually kind of cool, I thought. But y'all have been featured way more than me. I'm quite upset about it. So tell me now, according to the stories that are going about, y'all robbed the jackets of Red Cross. Y'all stole an ambulance. and y'all sat as first aid workers and took pictures. Am I correct with the accusations that have been put
there's a
aside?
lot more.
That would have
but
made a
yeah.
good movie, right?
Yes. Now, to start with, a singer called Hiroshi was seen with a patient. I really hope she's only speaking to them and not actually doing first aid. So tell me, to start things off, what happened? How did you all wear the Red Cross jacket?
I can.
This, I mean, it's got.
I'm just asking what is out there.
I know.
Yeah. We just have to make sure that we don't get
Say it right.
misunderstood
Yeah.
in the process,
And
because
I
we
think
do that a lot.
This is because now that this answer has to represent another organization which we are officially working with,
Which is?
Red Cross.
Right.
So, like I said, the foundation, when it didn't go the way we planned, we wanted ourselves to be affiliated with a credible organization.
Yeah, I think, okay, there needs to be correction there. I mean, the priority at the start was for us from where we are not development workers,
One more question.
right?
When you all initially sent the money to Red Cross, what did they use it for?
Medical supplies at Aragalaya. I mean, there's a letter that
At the
explains.
protest, and there's a letter published,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so people could go there for any type of illnesses that they have, not necessarily.
So I think it's largely focused on the accidents. How they operate is they set up like a mobile unit at the
Yes,
site.
which is there at
yeah,
Aragalaya.
and there's medical supplies there. There's ambulances
Anybody
there.
can walk in randomly and get help.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're injured, yes, you can. And the reason we know this is because they invited us to go there and wear the jacket, then get to know what we're contributing towards, right?
I think that we need to again clarify why we
Yeah.
were invited, right? Who are we to be invited? Also?
Of course, yeah.
That's one of the
No,
questions.
first question is, how did this affiliation start?
Correct.
How did you all
Yes,
legalize it?
Yes, there is a legal, because we when we reached out to them and said, look, we are doing this, and there's already about $5,000 raised. Can we send it through transparent channels, because the Red Cross is very transparent. You'll get an audited report at the end of the year from them. Then we officially started, and there's a contract in place that tells this organization represented by Yohani is working with Red Cross, and there is bank transactions going into Red Cross, and they will, at the end of the year, they will show their and people also an audited report on how the entire funding was allocated. So now the team requested that, because we are in a long-term engagement with the organization, let us be active, take an active role in this. Let us see what's going on, because we are coming from business backgrounds, and we are marketing guys. We don't know how social work, so these kind of things work. So we requested, please give us access to also learn, maybe train us on these things as we go on, so that we also can be a part of this activity.
And this is not the first time. I mean, Hiroshi and a couple of others for Sri Lanka have also been there at a previous time at the Red Cross unit, helping out whatever way they can, and that's been the case. And also, I think with regards to how Red Cross came about, right? Again, we have to really preface that none of us are development workers. We haven't. This is unprecedented.
So
really.
what did you all do on the 9th? Were you all the people who are physically working, or they have actually assistance from people who are medically trained?
I think there's like 300 plus volunteers
And
on any day at
I think
the Red
it's
Cross.
also better to understand how Red Cross works also, right? A lot of people don't know what the organization does. We also got to know very, like, as
Okay,
we've
just
started.
condense it and give it to me quickly.
There were doctors, there were the people who were taking care of the serious injuries, and you have levels of training in Red Cross. So there are people who are called first aiders, who are trained. So they were doing the rest of it. Well, what we could do was we could find the patients. We were the how do
We
you
were
say?
guiding people to the
yeah.
right places.
Yeah.
Okay.
We would go out there. We would look for people who were like. Once we went out there, and then we saw one gentleman was on the floor, and we couldn't bring him to the tent, and then we called in the guys and said, send help. So that's the kind of work we did.
And I think even like very simple things that don't need, maybe we kind of filled in for people who had the training and could be valuable elsewhere, but like the water that's for the patients, a whole bunch of random people come and start taking that, right? And then there's going to be issues if the water runs out. So like making sure nobody takes the water or making sure nobody crowds the entrance, you don't really need medical training to figure that parts out, I hope. So
And those are the things that you all were.
we did help out with that, but for me personally, largely it was about trying to understand what is going on ground so that we can figure out how to help.
So the first load of money that was transferred here, you have the sums.
Yeah.
It was.
There is a letter on our
Yeah, and it's
page.
close to how many million did you all send the first amount?
So we sent equivalent of $5,000.
Okay, and Red Cross was able to give you a receipt on how
There
it
is a-
was
yes,
used.
yeah.
And no, I'm just asking because this is like these are the conversation
yes,
that's
yes,
out and
yes.
about. Okay, we need to get into break. How are these breaks coming so fast? All right, we'll see you after this. Please stick around. Now, this is some industry gossip I need to know. So the discovery of Yohani happened by this person called Sonu, who was repeatedly sent this video saying there's a song that's going viral, and there he sort of checked her out. And there was also Akram from Colombo Jewelry Store who knew him because of the fact that Yohani was working, Jacqueline was working with Sonu, and so it was easy for him to sort of track down Yohani. And so the birth of Yohani to the Indian market happened. So the song went viral, and after that the second, third levels of support came about, and it was wonderful to see one of our fellow people being appreciated and recognized on a global platform. Now, Sonu is the person who has the power to sort of make the connections in India, correct?
Yeah.
And how was it working with him?
I mean, it's been great. The best thing about Sonu is he's super fast. Right? If I ask him, can I get this done, it's done in about in a matter of an hour or so. So they're very efficient, and that's great in this industry for us to.
At this very moment, I know there are a few who are signed up with Wingman and also together with Peta Effects. So some of the names that were signed up was Hiroshi. There was also Umaria signed up. Are these people still signed on?
Here she is.
Okay.
So, having a contract and you seeing them as close to or getting the work is a long-term thing, right? So we
Okay.
are still working. See, irrespective of anyone being signed or not, Sonu and I are working on finding more talent in Sri Lanka, which we can
Push to the
a global audience.
Okay, I'm just curiously asking. So I was happy to have Sonu on one of my shows. When he was here, it was a bit of a, it was like literally we just shot it in the morning before he flew off to the airport. He literally went from there. Do you feel that Sonu having multiple producers, multiple agencies that can provide talent for them to shortlist will be a better option than only having Peta Effects as the only place where everyone needs to come? Because considering the fact that Sri Lanka does have a lot of I don't want to rub shoulders with him, his, her organization kind of category. So we are restricting the talent that could go out.
Not necessarily, no. There is no exclusive contract.
That's what he told me. His last message to me was, if Dilanjan agrees, I will work with them. So
Yeah,
does
so-
that mean that blocks any artist that who Peta Effects might not like?
I mean, certainly, yes, I have the
Final call.
Yes, certainly, no, because it's a private organization. But that being said,
And he went off the group. He went off the group that I created with some artists. Because he actually asked me, and I recommended a few artists as well, saying that I don't know whether
I
they work
wasn't
with...
in that, was I?
You were not in it.
Okay.
But he clearly said, I've spoken to Dilanjan, if he doesn't agree, he doesn't agree. And I won't support something that he doesn't agree. So does that mean somebody needs to be in good books with you?
No, not
even if
necessarily.
they sing like a duck, they might go through if they like if you like them.
To a certain degree, right?
A duck can go through?
No. To
That's have talents.
to a certain degree, it is essential that you and I are in good books, right? But
But doesn't that cripple the whole talent?
well, it is what it is, right? No, sorry. It's too cocky.
We're going to a break, right?
No, but don't you think that also sort of cripples the whole purpose of, like, for example, if you and I don't like each other,
Yeah.
but yet you feel I'm good at the job.
Yes.
And don't you think you should open the door and say, no, this person, and campaign for that person?
Whom I should campaign?
Yeah.
What is in it for me?
The fact that you are taking, you still get your cut, you still get your commission.
Exactly.
But you and I are not going to sit in the same room and share a banana together.
No, not necessarily. Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
I agree with you, right? And if you, the industry there, just because you can access Sonu doesn't mean that you're going to get work.
Correct.
Right. So we have to understand.
But even to access Sonu, if there's already a block here, so that means we are only going to have Yohani, whoever made it there.
So there are other agents in India. Like India is 1.4 billion market, and market is segregated
but
into.
only Sonu has sort of seen 2 people from this country now. So everyone thinks there's one platform. Because
Well,
to
Sonu
be
didn't
very honest,
find me.
I'm not being
No,
I'm not
100%,
being
I get
rude
it.
here. If you take cuteness, appeal, and a marginally good voice, is Yohani. If you take voice, she's not the greatest that we have produced,
Correct.
which is true.
100%.
She's not the most phenomenal, talented singer, but she definitely has a package that is lovable. And she was lucky. Sometimes you can have a Jessie J and you can have a Britney Spears, but Britney Spears is definitely a bigger star than Jessie J.
Correct.
Vocally, Jessie J is on another level.
Correct.
So I'm just saying, if you're a Jessie J and you're stuck in a gut here,
Right.
would you be the door that opens the avenues or even push for them? Because you have a direct link now in Mumbai, even your profile says Mumbai, Sri Lanka, so that means you could be one of the advocates for talent here.
Yes.
Would you be one?
I've been trying to be one. What do you think Peta Effect does? I mean, one of the
But
important.
I only signed such few people. And none of them, in my opinion, can sing.
Okay, that is your opinion.
No, I'm saying we have had better singers.
But I think performance art is different to singing.
No, also,
That is true.
here's the thing, right? Here's a funny thing. What did Yohani do? She uploaded a video on YouTube. You can do it. I can do it. Anyone can do it.
And right, so let's say another song goes and Sonu likes it.
It's not.
No,
Sonu.
I'm just asking.
Yes.
Sonu likes it. He calls you, do you know this artist? And you're like, I don't like that person. What happens then?
I can certainly say that, but and it certainly will influence him. I mean, let's not kid ourselves.
That is true.
But I can also say I haven't done it.
Fine.
Why-
But thank you for the honesty. I appreciate, because I just wanted to know this and I wanted to know the true picture behind it.
No,
That's why I
let's
asked.
understand if an artist is really wants to get out there, right? If you're an actor, or even for you, right? How we can work is come to India, spend 3 months, right? No, come to India because we invested our money. Sonu didn't spend on us. The label didn't spend on us. Yohani invested her money. Like you think the air ticket was given? You think the rent is paid by the label? No. Come to India. That's what I tell everybody. Come to India. Kalana came to India, one of my artists. Rangi came to India. You come to India, stay there for 3 months on your own money. I will get you the auditions you want. I will get you the
What has happened
label.
to Kalana and Rangi now?
You got to ask them. I don't want to sit here and be like I did it for them because
No,
I,
but did they break through?
I guess to a certain degree, yes.
Okay, that's a good thing. Need to ask you one more thing. So these properties that have been, there are stories about the fact that Yohani has a
yeah.
mansion in Dubai, mansion in Mumbai. True or false? And there's nothing wrong with having it.
Exactly.
If I have the money, man, I'll buy a penthouse in Dubai.
Yes. So let's talk about what she doesn't have.
Okay,
What she doesn't have is a land from the government in Sri Lanka.
right. But she does have the Indian house and the Dubai house.
I am not at the liberty to
It's on her Instagram.
yeah. So then you can certainly. I don't have. I have never seen the deed.
You have never seen the house too?
I have seen the. I've been there.
I mean, you don't know whether she owns it or not.
I don't know who owns it. Yeah.
That's a very strange relationship between a manager and an artist.
Yeah, because my relationship is entertainment business.
What she does privately is not your
Assets are
problem.
not my business. Assets are managed by whoever she chooses to.
Okay. So we don't know whether she owns the house.
Do you know what Michael Jackson owns?
I don't.
Exactly.
If I speak to somebody of his age, I'll ask him.
Would they tell them? Would they tell you?
If they tell me, I'll take it. If they don't, I'll do the same thing. I'm like, okay, so Johan.
Exactly.
So the land from Sri Lanka is yet not given.
There is okay. How many gazettes?
I don't know.
in
I'm
Sri
just asking.
Lanka? That is one of the. No, 100% no. There is no land because
No land.
It should have gone through me because the
But you said assets are not going through you, no?
no the connection to that has to come through me, right?
Okay, Dubai assets can go direct to her.
No.
And Sri Lankan assets can
That's-
go through you. Okay,
no.
fine. Continue.
The call comes to me
Uh.
and the finalization happens because if it's a gift, it goes through me because it's entertainment revenue.
Prone, okay.
Yes.
But nobody gave anything.
No, that much I can.
And he probably has a good idea of how much money Yohani gets, but what she does with that and what she buys with that or rents
Correct.
with it,
And also,
Probably not.
you're a legit journalist.
I'm not a journalist.
Okay.
You've been.
You've been a journalist.
No.
No?
What do you call it?
I'm in showbiz. I'm
Right.
entertainment.
Okay.
person.
Sorry. Let's say a journalist, right, and an investigator can find this out, right, and tell me there is a deed. Tell me there is this thing. I will quit my job
Right, for the Sri Lankan
for the
property.
Sri Lankan
Okay.
property.
So there is no Sri Lankan property. That's what we have heard so far. I'm just asking the questions that you have been trying to ask for a long time. Let's get into a break. We'll see you right after. Welcome back to the show. Just want to condense everything that we spoke about, just so that you know about I'm for Sri Lanka is a foundation that's a non-profit organization that's working hand in hand with Red Cross at this very moment, and their contribution has been recorded and it's all available on social media. You all can see, and this foundation has been done under the name Yohani, and it's run by the team who work as volunteers. I have got that cleared, and contributions are still coming in from internationally, locally.
Right now, as of this moment, no.
Okay.
We paused it until there are certain other things that needs to come into play.
Brilliant. So, but you can always come to know more questions by giving a little message to them. I'm sure they'll be kind enough to respond to you. That's one. Now, about the talent factor, Dilanjan
Dilanjan.
did make a few points during our break time, and I think it's a vital point that you need to speak about. So, for what I've heard, Umaria, who was signed up for this, withdrew her contract, and also the lack of we seeing others having their stay in India. How does it work, and why do you think that it's taking time?
Okay, so you understand these two are two different markets, operates completely differently. Now we'll talk about how Yohani did the shift. Yohani became one of the biggest brands in music in Sri Lanka. The amount she would charge for a show from a brand endorsement, right? And these things are long-term things. Yohani sacrificed all of that. She moved to India. She said, okay, I'm going to take my chances. Let's go to India and start from the scratch. And just because you have a song that has gone past 200 million views doesn't automatically get you the face time with the big guns. They produce 200 million songs every other day. So even for someone artist like that, even with that kind of popularity, still very hard to get in and work with the big guns. But you have to be in Mumbai, because let's say I'm recording a song for a brand. I would not fly down an artist. I would not fly down, I would not even go to Candy and bring down an artist and say, look, I want the demo done so that I can pitch it to this agency. But if you're there in that market, very close, the proximity helps, right? So if anyone is serious about, expanding,
venturing.
Yes, come to India. I will do, because I have now a network, we'll get you through the door. From there onwards, it's up to you. Because if you are still going to fly back and stay in Sri Lanka, no one's going to call and get you, no matter how talented you are.
There's no tomorrow in India, it's always today.
Correct.
Agreed over the fact that it is a hard journey and it's never going to be easy. And also to be from such a small country, pushing your way into such a huge country is definitely it's something that we need to stand up and give a round of applause for. And I'm always with that. I've always appreciated Yohani as, she's a wonderful girl and she's so simple, so humble. Even if she sees somebody today, she'll just jump out of where she is and hug and kiss, and that's who she is, and that's genuine. It's he's always the one who is tough to crack, but she's always a sweet soul. But what is the damage control you all are going to do about Yohani's name coming back to where it was here?
I think truth will prevail. Truth should always prevail, will always prevail. And
do you think you do equal damage as equal good for her?
Yes. Right now, yes, for sure.
Do you mean him personally?
No, in my context as a manager.
Yeah, I think maybe your intentions are good. I think the way you go about it sometimes.
Oh, you mean in my personal social media?
No, just how you approach situations.
Well, what is the right way, right? Because if I have done the
But also there's a scope of work, right, for a manager. I'm completely unrelated to this, but there is a scope of work, right, for a manager, and I think a large part of the brand is personally attributed. A fair part of the brand is, you know, how the contracts are structured.
People who have affiliated themselves with Yohani willing to speak for her?
Oh no, that we learned the hard way.
Yeah. There are people even here who are not willing to speak for her.
But I feel like you shouldn't expect them to.
That
right?
is true. We're getting into a fun segment. I found some pictures of you all and I really want to know the stories behind it. And welcome back. So here's the first photograph that I want to share. The red ones are the robbed jackets according to the memes that came out, and the brown one is the person who robbed it. Correct? Who is this thief person?
Who is the thief person? Well, he's a point of contact from the Red Cross.
Cross.
He's the head of,
His name is Dr. Siddhartha. He's very much a part of the Red Cross, I believe, or he has some suspicious access to the officers because we've been there and spoken to the team.
I just wanted to share these pictures because we just needed to speak about it, because I feel like hard work and somebody sacrificing their time to be there to do something should be appreciated.
And
So-
also, he's not a medical doctor. He's a doctorate.
Oh, okay. He's
Just so we're clear.
Yeah.
Who is this person?
And that is Jubin Notia. He's the biggest male artist in India right now. Oh my God.
I don't know who that is.
Who is the other person and why are you so malnourished?
How long ago was that?
I don't know.
Who is the other person?
This is one of my friends. His name is Kaushik Bandar. He's in States now.
And you're wearing New York. That was a good sign for him to go there.
That's one of his t-shirts.
He had a mission. He had a mission to get there. Actually, I don't have many of Dilshan.
Thank God.
Actually, you have a terrible account.
Yeah.
Is that Yohani?
Yes.
That's me.
She looks really tired there, Pau.
Yeah.
And also, Dilshan, your face is the most in there.
That's Soprano.
Yeah. Don't volunteer information.
Please tell me.
We're trying to survive, not thrive. Sorry, what's the question?
Who is the fourth wheel?
Oh, that's one of
Shashi.
our friends from school.
And where was this?
Sopranos?
Are you all drunk?
Are we drunk?
I am.
You're drunk. Excellent. Life has really taken you far.
That's not me.
What?
Yes.
Oh.
In this tragic
But I
state?
took the picture.
Who is this?
Okay, it's actually, this guy's name is Johan. Very first band of Yohani, he's the lead guitarist. Very first time.
Might have been confusing, to call these people. Yohani. This had some comments coming in Sri Lanka. What was this event?
So Jacqueline has a fundraiser.
That's fine. We also call her Jackie.
Okay. She has a fund called YOLO. So they had their anniversary event, and so actually they've done a lot of work, social work there. And so she also started a fundraiser and pledged that funds to Sri Lanka.
Oh.
And we happened to be at that event and we performed.
Performed as well.
Johanni performed there.
Yeah, because latest reports say she has a lot of money, no?
I think so.
Yeah. I want to know who that man is. I don't mind a sneaky picture for a good profit.
That's me again.
Yeah, this is a picture that a lot of people might envy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What, did it feel nice?
Well, actually,
Did it feel nice? Well, actually, let me stop you right there.
because this was the first time we met Jackie. right?
Okay.
And she really helped us get our minds
To be ready to face
yes.
the battlefield. This is also work done.
That's not me.
No,
Sorry?
that's definitely not you.
It's not me either, just to be clear.
That's a good-looking girl.
That's Hiroshi volunteering on the same day.
Yes.
Wonderful. girl.
Hiroshi has been there, like volunteering more.
She's done it
times, yeah.
before, and it so happens she's also trained in the US, but
Yeah.
not that she exercised the training, but she
No,
is.
but
actually
it's good to know.
trained. Yeah.
Brilliant. I must first say a
You
big
had
thank
only one
you.
picture.
Oh yeah, thank God.
You only had 2. Actually, you have nothing.
Thank you.
You have nothing. In all those pictures where you were thin, you have deactivated that account and you started a new account. Then you had a vain Instagram account. You have deactivated that.
I
and
like
you-
how the body shaming is at discriminatory levels now. It's
No,
like
but-
you're not going to include your pictures if you're not thin anymore.
I have some pictures. Can I give it?
Yeah, please, of course.
Please.
I have a picture of him sleeping on a couch like a.
Are you trying to dig or are you trying to get out?
No, when we were in India, he
Yeah.
came over and he was writing the website content. Before all of this thing happened, we were working on project.
Trying to help.
Yeah, around 6 a.m. in the morning, he's passed out
Flat
on
out.
the couch. Yeah.
Well, I must say, before we wrap things up, thank you for being on the show and for being so open and willing to answer the questions. I think it also takes a lot to be in this industry, to be scrutinized, to be checked on, to be people make opinions about you always, but you hold on to it very well. And thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us. Yeah.
Dilshan, well, thanks for sitting there.
Thank you. Thank you for having me to sit here. You
so-
needed somebody on this side of the couch, right?
We just needed a balance. But to be very honest, actually, I think two years ago, I got to know he's one of my long lost cousins, which I didn't know how it was possible, but the world is definitely small. On that note, we need to wrap things up. Thank you so very much for being here, guys. We will see you with another cool episode to Date with Danu. Till then, you be safe. Take care.